good afternoon and welcome to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. Today is July 1st and I am filming my very first mid-year WIP parade. For those of you who had followed me since the beginning, you know that I started as a monogamous stitcher and I have slowly but surely worked my way up to having more than one WIP going at the same time. It didn't really seem, well, to me it didn't seem like there were any need to do a mid-year WIP parade, because usually all my WIPs would just show up in my stitch with me, so it was easy to follow along. But now I have more WIPs, I have a lot of new starts, so there's just more projects in my rotation to keep track of. So I thought, let's do a mid-year WIP parade this year. And as you can see, I'm starting with my finish. I have one finish this year so far, and it is my Grumpy Red Fairy by Jasmine Beckett Griffith from Charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. So I am finally finished. It was not too bad. I mean, this is not too confetti heavy, so you can sort of finish it kind of fast. It's not too complicated, and I think it's super cute. I did start this in 2022. May 30th in 2022, and I spent, like, in total with all the other projects in my rotation, I spent about, let's see, 10, 20, 32, 40, about 50, 55, about 55 days total. But that has been then taking a few breaks. I did a mistake when marking off my stitches in Pattern Keeper, because I was trying to stitch on it when I was sick. And then I thought I made a mistake, so I thought that I would have to frog like a lot. But it turned out okay, but I actually took a little bit of a pause when I thought that I would have to frog. I thought I would have to frog most of her face, so that would be, yuck. But like I said, I discovered that the mistake was only marking off the wrong stitches in Pattern Keeper. So once I picked it back up again, it has been quite smooth sailing the rest of the way. So I'm super happy to have finished this. I am stitching all my Heaven and Earth designs on 25 count even weave, and I'm stitching it 1/1, which is my absolute favorite. So you will see all my Heaven and Earth designs is 25 count even weave. So super happy with this finish, and I have still the little match girl. I can show you it in a minute, and I will finish that one before I start another Jasmine Beckett Griffith, but I have another one already kitted up, so it's ready to go once I've finished with the other one, which, by the way, onto that one right now. So here she is, the little match girl, also by Jasmine Beckett Griffith, also Heaven and Earth Designs, stitch on 25 count even weave 1/1. I started this in December 2020, and I spent about 60 days on this one since 2020. And the reason why I didn't spend that many days on it is because I only stitched on this during winter and Christmas time, and then I would just take a break altogether from stitching during summer, which was a little bit of a bummer, and the reason why I wanted to have more WIPs so that I can stitch all year around instead of just getting sort of stuck or hung up on the winter theme of it, because I do like to a little bit, not 100%, but a little bit follow the seasons, which is why for several months during the year I'm not touching this. So this is why it's taking a little bit longer, I'd say. I really like this. Like I said, I mean, it's Jasmine Becker Griffith. I'm not, like, in general into the big-eyed girl thing, but her art, I don't know what it is, but it really speaks to me. I really like her stuff. So I'm super happy to have this. And like I said, I have finished the Grumpy Red Fairy. I have this one also to finish. And then I have another one already kitted up and ready to go. So yeah, but I'm gonna stick with this now till we're done. And this is also the first year that I'm gonna start doing, or try at least start doing, Christmas in July. So this one, I'm probably gonna stitch on this one a little bit the coming month, which is super exciting to just get a little bit more done on it. And I will also pick up my other winter projects that I will show you in a little bit. So anyways, The Little Match Girl by Jasmine Becker Griffith. Now on to Meeting on the Turret Stairs by Frederick William Burton. It is also Heaven and Earth design, 25 count, 1/1. And let's see, I started this in, a little bit, almost like a year ago. July 22nd, 2023, I started this. And I have sadly not spent that many days on it, like 11, 16, 17 days on it. But still, I made a little bit of a progress. And when it comes to these full coverage pieces, I mean, we all know that a lot of progress doesn't show up a lot, but as you can see, I moved into more of a cross-country stitching again, which I do switch back and forth between parking and cross-country. I do always seem to sort of get tired of one or the other, and then yeah, it's the whole thing. But anyways, cross-country for now, which I really enjoy. And also with these Heaven and Earth design full coverage, sort of, this is a supersized one. I am thinking, because for now I have had like a focus piece. I had the Grumpy Red Fairy. I have another one now, also a smaller one, but I think I might going ahead have like one focus kit, focus piece, or one of the smaller ones as a focus piece, but also have one of the full coverage Heaven and Earth designs going with that, just to make a little bit more of a progress. It's probably not going to be this one. It's going to take its time. It's, as I said, it's super sized, so it's a big one. It's a really big one. So this is going to take a lot of time. And although I have another super-sized one, I'm actually thinking of starting another one also. So yeah, but the plan going ahead is just plod along. I'm so enjoying the 1/1, and right now I'm so enjoying the cross-country stitching. And this is not going to be my full coverage focus piece for now. Actually, we could just go on to the piece that I think will be my full coverage focus piece. And it is this one, and you can't really tell. I think the lighting in here is really bad right now. It's Sister Moon by Amy Stewart from Heaven and Earth Design. This is a little bit smaller, it's not super sized, and there's a little bit of confetti, but not too much. There's a lot of background, which is why I thought having this as a focus piece, just to sort of get all the black done. I mean, it's not all black, it's, I don't know if you can see that, it's brown, it's green, it's gray and black, but it's dark. So, and I also think that if sometimes when you get tired of just stitching these dark colors and the 310, it is good to switch between like something like this and then have the focus, the other focus piece, the kit piece, which is more colorful, and it's also stitched on Ada, so it will be quite a different feeling. So these two would be good to switch between, I think. I started Sister Moon also, I think, in July 2023. Yeah, just a few days after meeting on the turret stairs. I started this one July 26th in 23. And I've spent about, so far, only about 12 days maybe on this. So it will be good to spend more time on this and see how much progress I can get before, or how long it will take to just get the background done and then move into the focus of the piece, which is the woman in the middle. So yeah, I wasn't sure first, but I'm happy with that decision to just have this, and I will show you later or tell you later the other piece, so I can switch between those two when I'm off camera. So Sister Moon by Amy Stewart. And since we're talking about Amy Stewart, we're talking about Heaven and Earth Design, let's just get to it with the biggest one I have, and that is a stitching time. See if I can move out a bit. And again, as you can see, this is more clear, or you can see that yes, I do switch between parking and cross country, back and forth. And again, this is I mean, I'm loving this so much. So like just one stitch at a time, really. And yeah, even if it doesn't look like much, I don't know, I don't care, I just love it so much. I started this one in May 19th in 2022, and this one I spent like 60 days since 2022. And this is really everything that I love. It's confetti, but not always. It's 1/1, and yeah, I'm super happy I also started this. This was also, of course, one of the reasons I also wanted to start Flosstube, but also have more than one project, because I knew that this is gonna, you know, take a lot of time, and just switching back and forth between the little match girl and then this, I thought maybe I need to try and have more options just to keep me stitching, because what I would miss when I took a break, when I felt that I'm getting a little bit tired, or my eyes are getting tired of stitching the 25 count, was yeah, I was missing stitching, because I would just take a break from stitching at all. But now I have more projects, I can just switch to like a 16 or 14 count Ada project and get a totally different feel. So I really enjoy that. But again, I mean, I've seen people who are monogamous pretty much, and I mean, the progress that they are making is fabulous. It's outstanding. I'm taking my time. Like I said, this is my lifelong companion for now, and yeah, just loving it, every bit of it. And also, I mean, with Pattern Keeper, it is fabulous and so much easier. And Pattern Keeper, for me at least, has really been like a life-changing app. I love it so much. Yeah, A Stitch in Time by Amy Stewart. And another Heaven and Earth design. I thought I'd just take them all at once while I still have them up. So Heaven and Earth design, the fitting, 25 counts, 1/1. I started this June 7th in 2022, and I spent like 40, 50, yeah, also about 60 days on this. I had this like a little bit of a focus piece. I didn't do like the Stitch Mania. I did Monogamous May. Was it last year? Or was it the year before that? No, last year maybe. So, and I mean, that is the benefit of being monogamous is that you do make progress. So I did a huge amount of progress during that month, just stitching on one project. So yeah, this is coming along really nicely. And like I said, with the Heaven and Earth, the full coverage, I'm in no rush. I'm taking my time. I'm kind of, as you can see, I do a little bit of a diagonal, like by square, but here I've chosen to do this, but then I went to do cross country. So I don't know, maybe I'll continue with this sort of pattern, or maybe I will let it loosen up a little bit just to soften the line once I work my way down. Yeah, but so far so good. Yeah, do you know what, I might show you actually real quick the one that I did plan to start, and then because I was thinking of maybe I shouldn't start it. I have full coverage pieces, and as you can see, it's not like I am almost done with them. I mean, I have a long ways to go. But also I was thinking, like, what if I don't start it? Then when will I ever get to stitch on it? And I also wanted to start something completely different. So I don't know if you will be able to see this one. So I thought I would do this one. And I've seen this. It is super pretty, I think. It's super size, Farewell to Anger, max colors, and look at that. It is a completely different style from like all my other WIPs, so this felt exciting, and it feels, yeah, I mean, I get a totally different feeling from this one, so I will definitely start this year sometime. I don't know if I will do it like anytime soon, but I will definitely try to give this a go, and we'll see when it will show up on A Stitch with Me, when I feel ready to start another super size. Is it crazy maybe? Yeah, but why not be a little bit crazy? It's just stitching, for heaven's sake. So yeah, this one is next on my list to start. On to my Dimensions Gold Collection kits. This is, I have not touched this. It's my last Flosstube, I think. I mean, I'm finished with all of the crosses. The Finery of Nature. I started it in April 19th, in 2023. And altogether, I actually think I spent like 20 days, because each square, even with the frame around it, took maybe like 3 to 4 days each. This took the longest because the nest thing was a little bit confetti heavy, but the other squares were pretty easy and fast to stitch. I really enjoyed this. This was just fun. Now now that the complicated stuff is left. So there's back stitching, there's cording, there's couching, there are French knots. I really don't like French knots. I mean, they're pretty if you can do them. I can't. They always turn out really interesting. But yeah, I will definitely do that, and I will try to do that in the coming couple of months, because I really want to finish this, to have it like complete finished. I will then remove, because this is gridded with like the sulky metallic thread, and then decide if I ever gonna to make this into like a decorative pillow or whatever I'm supposed to do with it. But yeah, I'm just mustering up courage or patience for the cording and couching and the French knots. Backstitching is not really a problem for me, but the other stuff is. So like I said, Finery of Nature, it is stitched on a 14 count Aida. Stitch 2 over, what do you call it when it's Aida, 2 over 1. A couple of blends, I think, but nothing too wild. And I have not changed too much in here. There may have been some that were supposed to be stitched with just the one thread, but I think I did them double anyways, because it just looks, I didn't see the need. And also with the black Aida, I wanted more coverage. And yeah, but otherwise, I mean, the Dimensions Gold kit collections are, I really enjoy their kits. They are super nice. The thread is really nice to work with. So this will hopefully be a finish. And then I have, yeah, so this is going to be my focus piece, together with Sister Moon. And this is Wreath of All Seasons. And this is how far I've gotten so far. I have opted to do all the letters, the writing. I know some people really don't like it, so they don't do it. They just do the wreath, which is totally fine. I happen to really like it. So yeah, here we go. So this was the winter part, this is the spring part, and this is moving into summer, and then fall. Summer up here, and then fall. So yeah, so this is potentially like a finish this year too, depending on if I can keep up. So that's why I wanted to keep this as a focus piece, just to keep up with the seasons. And then in December, if I can finish the wreath like in November, and then in December I can just do the back stitching. So in this one it's just full crosses, there are blended threads, not too many, and then there's back stitching. There's quite a lot of back stitching, but that's fine. It's going to be back stitching, both single threaded and double threaded back stitching, but that's fine. And again, this is, I mean, the colors, I don't know if you can really, if they show up, but it is really so much fun. Beautiful colors, super pretty, easy to read chart. Yeah, This is a nice project. It's not as fast as the Finery of Nature because it's a bit more confetti and there are a lot more color changes and, like I said, mixed or blended colors, blended threads. But it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It is quite easy to make a lot of progress on this, so I can highly recommend this. So I will be altering between this and Sister Moon as my focus pieces, especially when I'm off camera. And then I have the kitty litter. This one I started in January 18th in 2023, and I spent about 20 days on it. Here I did some changes like in the background because they do want you to stitch the tent stitches here in the background with like 5 and 4 threads, which was super not nice for me. So this is an 18 count Ada, and just pulling like 5 threads, even though it's 10 stitches through, it was a lot of hard work and it wasn't enjoyable at all. So I just thought, no, I'm not gonna do that. I did have to frog a little bit, but not too much because I lost patience with that fairly soon. So I just do the double or triple thread in the background. So as you can see, maybe you can see, the coverage is not 100%, but it is good enough for me, and it's so much more enjoyable to stitch. So I decided to do that. For the other part, I mean, this is full crosses, tent stitch. Like I said, according to the kit or the chart, 5, 4, 3, 2 threads. There are blended colors, a lot of blended colors in this one, and there will also be couching, cording, backstitching definitely. I'm not sure about French knots, not that many if there are any, but this is like the super cute thing. I did spend most of my time the last time I stitched on it on this part to get the background, because first I thought I will move in and do the other kitty here, the gray one, super cute, but then I looked at this and I had all this background and stuff, so I thought maybe I should just get a little bit of this done and then move up to more detailed and then do background, you know, try to alternate a little bit so it doesn't get too tedious. Because if it's just confetti and blended threads and stuff like that, you can sort of get tired of it a bit. And if it's just background, again, you do need to, at least I need to switch it up. So I thought I would do that. So that is why I haven't really made progress on the kitties, because I wanted to get the background and stuff done. Okay, people, moving on to Pandemic Long Dog Sampler. This is my progress so far. Again, I'm so happy that I started this. I mean, it's a joy. This is just pure joy stitching on this. Super happy. I did finish this. I think this is about a page, more or less. This one I'm stitching part from paper and part in Pattern Keeper because of the back stitching not showing up in Pattern Keeper. I know one of you recommended the RX mark, or whatever. I think you know what it is, and I looked at it and it looked really nice, but it is, I think, a subscription app, and I need to not spend more money on stuff right now, so I'll have to wait a little bit to be able to afford that. So, but actually switching back and forth between the paper and pattern keeper, it's not too bad because it's just a back stitching. So so that works out well for me. So I keep track of my progress in pattern keeper. I have actually more than 50% done. I think I have like 53 or something percent finished. So yeah, making progress. This is stitched on an 18 count Ada. It's stitched with a silk floss from Mrs. Sada's on Etsy. And I started this one in June in 2022. And again, I spent about maybe like 60 or 70 days on this one, because this one I find easier to pick up and just like one day stitch a little bit and then put it away and do something else. Whereas some of the other projects that I have, I do want to spend like a couple of days at least just to get into the charge, do some stitching and get everything sort of under control, whether I'm doing parking or cross country. This one for me is easier to just do a little bit here and there whenever I have time or inclination to stitch on it. So that's why I think I have spent a little bit more time on this than the other projects. And again, if you haven't, I highly recommend, because the chart is wonderful. All the details are just gorgeous. One new start that I have, one of it is from Riolis, and it is the Carnation Lily Rose. And yeah, this is all the progress. This is super interesting to me because this is the first that I really work with the blended threads from Riolis. Here you have the acrylic wool thread, and here is the DMC. I think it's DMC, or is it? No, it's Anchor. Sorry, it's Anchor floss. But it makes a real nice contrast, as you can see, because the Anchor floss is a little bit shiny and the wool is not. The wool acrylic gives you really good coverage, and this is going to be super fun to continue with. It's not too big, so I think this is going to be sort of a quick-ish project. It's stitched on a 14 count Ada, and as I said, it's a wool and Anchor floss. And there's a little bit of back stitching, and there are full crosses. Some of them I think are blended threads, if I remember correctly. And there's also a little bit of some of them are double thread and some of the stitches are single threaded, just to give it a little bit more detailed. And I started it this year, May 21st, and I spent, this it's with the gridding and the start like 4 days, 3-4 days. So as you can see, it's you make progress. It's easy to follow. It's not too confetti heavy. And it's not too much block color either, which can be a little bit tedious sometimes. But yeah, I'm really happy I started this. And speaking of Riolis, I have another Riolis kit going, which is the squirrels. And again, smaller-ish project. And I started in November 11th in 2023, and I spent not that many days on it actually, like 2, 5, 7, 8-ish days. And again, it's like the hedgehogs that I did from Riolas too. These smaller ones, it's stitched with a wool acrylic floss. Also like double threaded, single threaded. There's 10 stitches, there's full cross stitches. So there's a little bit of both. And there's going to be some back stitching in here. But as you can see, it's stitched up nicely and kind of fast. So I'm not sure that I will be finishing this one this year. But definitely in the beginning of the next year, I think I will be able to finish this one, unless I decide to spend a little bit more time this year. But there's a lot of other projects that I also want to stitch on, so we'll see what happens. But super happy with this one. I do like the squirrels, it's super cute, and it's a really nice little fun WIP to have started. So welcome to my Marika stash, or I don't know what to call it, but it just turned out this way that I just started a lot of Marika kits. It wasn't planned, it just happened on its own. Where do I start? I start with this one, I think. Let's not let that fall off the table. And here we have Winter Evening from Marika. It is stitched on 16 count Ada. It's stitched with DMC floss. And it is not full coverage in the sky, but it is full coverage further down. This is my progress. There are in Marika some also combined colors. I started this November 25th, 2023. And this is a winter project, so I haven't been stitching on this at all. Actually, well, a little bit in January, maybe February, but so I spent maybe like 6 days, barely 6 days on this, and that is with the gridding and the serging. So not too many days, but if I am to attempt Christmas in July, this might be a part of it. It's just winter themed, but still I might pick this one up in July. But again, otherwise, I mean, super happy. This is such a nice image. I really, really love it. And then I was watching the Stitchy Witch, and she also started this. So yeah, so at least we're 2 people working on this project right now, so that's fun. Moving on, let's see which one. It doesn't really matter the order, maybe, but let's do this one. Spring Sampler. This is the one with the 2 fabrics. The one that I haven't started, and the main one with here's the main one. And then the smaller images I haven't even started. I thought that I would just do the big one first and then move over to stitch on the small ones. There are like 4 small pieces that you then cut out and then stitch onto the bigger one. So you can see here's the frame or the outline for 1, 2, 3, and there's one down here in the corner. This is really nice, and like it said, it's spring sampler, spring motifs, spring colors. It is really, really pretty with the blossoms here. I started this March 6th, this year, and I spent about 6 to 7 days on it, and that is with the gridding and all of that. So I'm happy with the progress. As you can see, there's back stitching, full crosses, more back stitching on top of this. There are blended colors. Most of them are double threads, I think. I think it's just back stitching with single threads. So nothing too complicated. And again, I mean, this is not full coverage, so it's gonna, I think, stitch up fairly quickly. So that is the spring sampler. Now, when it comes to plans in the future, I have the other samplers too. I have started the summer sampler, which I will show you now, but I will also start the autumn one and the winter one. So there's at least 2 more new starts, apart from the supersized Heaven and Earth design, Farewell to Anger. So then that's at least 3 new starts, huh? Yeah, well, here we are. So summer sampler also from Marika. Again, there are 2 fabrics. I also, on this one, I'm starting with the main, sort of the main fabric, and then I will continue on to the smaller pieces that also stitch on here. This is so nice. I really like the colors, the summer colors with the poppies and the daisies, and yeah, it is so nice. Super nice. Started June 10th this year, and I spent maybe like 5 days on this with gridding and stuff. So as you can see, easy to make progress. But also on this back stitching, there are some blended colors, but nothing too complicated really. So super happy, and it's gonna be so much fun to have all 4 started this year, the autumn and winter one also. And then I did start the sweet pea, which, like as a motif, it's just because my grandmother, it was her favorite flower. Here we are, sorry. There. It was her favorite flower, and she's been passed away for a few years now, and yeah, whenever I see the sweet peas, I always think of her. So anyway, sorry. I started this April 12th this year, so another new start. I spent about 4 days on it only, and this one also I'm taking my time. This I will finish it whenever I finish it. I'm in no rush, and just, you know, stitching it in her memory and thinking of her while I'm stitching it. So again, taking my time, and we will see if how much I will stitch on it this year, or if I just gonna take a break and come back to it. I don't know, we'll see. But it's really nice. The colors are really nice and sweet. So yeah, I can recommend. Also not too big of a project. So if you would want to, I think you could really stitch it up fast, but that is not my goal with this project. So yeah, so sweet pea, did I say 16 count? And I mean, with Marika, it's DMC, and it's Zweigart, so I think you can see it through this one. So yeah. And then I did also start another Marika, again, not planned, but I wanted to start one of those city landscapes or the not too flowery because I have a lot of flower motifs. So I did want to start this one called Cafe in Verona that I've seen a lot of people stitch on. It is fun because there are a lot of different, when you get an image like this, you have a lot of different parts. So there's like the darker, the lighter, there are furniture, there are flowers. So there's a lot of different things going on, which I really like. I haven't spent too many days on it though, but this is what it looks like so far. Again, DMC, it's Zweigard, it's also 16 count Ada, and I started this May 8th this year, and I only spent like 3 days, 3.5 maybe, again with gridding and serging and then stitching this. Yeah, but this one is going to be real fun to continue, like I said, because there are so many different color schemes and different motifs. So if you want variety in one piece, then this I think would be a good way to go. Okay, so that is the last Mareka piece that I have going so far. So let's move on. So this is a little bit of a shame, no, not shame, but guilty conscience sort of thingy. It is gauging. I bought it on Amazon and I have not stitched on this at all this year, I think. And it's not because I don't like the image, because I do. It's just because I don't like the chart and the symbols on the chart. I have spoken of this before, and because I mean I work on like the kits, like with the paper charts. It's not a big deal. It's not like a huge problem for me. Different types, some are colored, some are not, some are black and white, but for some reason this chart with these symbols are it's, yeah, it's hard work and you really need to be in the mood to do it, because you have to really look at the chart, or I have to. I mean, I think that there are sometimes just, it's nothing wrong with the chart itself. It's just that sometimes the way you do symbols, and some symbols just works better for certain people and not for other people. And in this case, doesn't really work for me, so so that's why I haven't stitched on it. I'm not giving up, because I do like the piece, I like the image. I want to see how it turns out. I think that the coloring and the detailing may be a bit off, but I don't mind that. I think it's a beautiful picture and I really want to do it. I need to gather up some patience when going in and stitching on this. Hang on, I have to see where I have. Yeah, so it's called Gauging. It's stitched on 14 count Ada. It's 2/1, and I started this August 23rd in 2022, and I spent about 16 days in total on this since 2022, and I haven't touched it at all until now this year. So, but as you can see, I mean, it's nice. I do like it. So I just have to get over the chart thing. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to not rush it, but I do want to have it as a goal to then at least pick it up once this year, once every year until it's finished. So maybe not now during summer, but sometime during fall I will pick this up and I will put some stitches down. I will complete the first page at least. That would be actually a nice goal to have, to complete this section this year, because that is not too many stitches actually. I should be able to get this done. Easier said than done though. But we'll see. Like I said, it's a little bit, I feel a little bit guilty not working on it, but I will. I really will. So we'll see. This project is gonna take a bit, not because I am enjoying the stitching, but just because I need more patience than I can muster right now to finish. Anyways, it's here and it's still in the rotation, even though it gets pushed back frequently. So enough about that. Moving on. So let's take a look at my first ever memorabilia. Lady Alexandra started this year in the beginning of February 4th this year, and I spent more than a week, I think, almost 10 days. It is yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It is not as bad as I thought. Maybe I was a little bit apprehensive because memorabilia is a little bit intimidating, or it was to me. So I was a little bit reluctant starting. It took me a while, but once I got going, it's not too bad. The only thing is the paper chart that I have taken a photo of, and then I am marking off the stitches in a note-taking app on my tablet, and that works actually pretty well. At first I was a bit unsure, but yeah, you get used to it. It's not too bad actually. It is stitched on a 32 count linen as recommended. I have since, of course, and before that also watched other floss tubers, and some of them are saying that 32 count is a little bit not good for the beads. Some of them prefer 28 count, and I don't know, I'm just going, since this is my first, I'm not going to do anything crazy. Some people also stitch the skin tone 1/1 instead of 2/2, which is this one. I stitched 2/2, and again, I'm not gonna bother with that. I'm just gonna do what the chart tells me and see where that leads me. Maybe I'll change it up. I have another kit or another of the memorabilias kitted up already, so ready to go. So I am enjoying it. It's a bit fiddly with the note-taking app, but it's not too bad. You just need to get used to it, and then we'll see what I'm gonna do about the beading. But I have everything ready to go, so this is more fun than I thought it would be. And yet I started it, even though I was a little bit scared that it would be super complicated, but it's not. I mean, the cross-stitching is just fine. It's just getting the specialty floss and all of that, but once you have that, it's not too difficult actually. So I'm super happy that I started it. Lady Alexandra, 32 count, yeah, 2/2, and I'm stitching this with a CXC and not a DMC. But the other specialty threads I have, and like I said, I've had all the beads. I did buy the kit. This came, you could buy like the whole pack, which I prefer instead of hunting the beads down. There are probably cheaper ways to get to all the beads, but just to make it not complicated for me starting my first one, I just went with the pre-packaged bead kit, so that made things a lot easier. So I recommend that if you find it complicated to chase down all the different types of beads. So if you can find this is helpful. And here's the one that I call Dancing Party. I'm making progress, slowly but surely. I'm stitching one page at a time and doing the back stitching as I go. So this is one page. I did the background and started the floor. So this time, like on the last stitch with me with this one, I think I worked mostly on him or his coat. Yeah, so moving on to another lady in a pink dress and another gentleman with his black waistcoat. This is super fun to stitch. It is so enjoyable and it's so pretty. I really, really, really love it. The floss, it's some type of cotton thread. That is, some of the colors are a little bit fragile, I would say. Like the light pink frays and breaks easily. So with the lighter colors, you have to be careful. At first I thought it was anchor, but it's not. I think, because I bought this as a kit, so I think it was designed for anchor, but this floss is a cheaper floss, I think. It's not bad. I really like working with it. It's just that some of the lighter colors are more fragile than the other ones. So once you get into it, once you get to know the floss, you sort of learn. So maybe that, like the light pink ones, just have a shorter thread to stitch with, so it doesn't fray and break as easily. Whereas the red ones are super sturdy. You can just have a longer thread and that is not a problem at all. So it's just some of the colors. But otherwise the quality of the colors themselves are super nice, I think. So if you can find this as a kit, then I still recommend buying it because it works out really well. I started it August 13th in 2022. I spent in total about, 10, 20, 30, 40, about 44, 45 days maybe. And this one I grid as I go. I did have a little bit of a gridding session, but I didn't finish. I have just this section left to grid. But yeah, taking it a little bit at a time so you don't get, bored to death from grading. Yeah, this is a super fun one because it does, you as you work your way through, you get different people, different color dresses, stuff is happening in the background. So yeah, this is a super fun one. And then there's the stamp kit. I don't feel that I have made as much progress as I wanted to. I just haven't really been feeling it too much. And like I said, this is also my first pre-stamped kit. It takes a little bit getting used to. And as I mentioned before, the benefit, and I do understand why people love pre-stamp kit, just because you don't actually have to look away from the project. You have all the information you need basically on the fabric, which is super nice. But most pre-stamp kit come in 11 count and you stitch 3 over 1. Not my favorite thing to do, but it is fun enough. So I mean, I have bought more pre-stamp kits just because it is super relaxing and it is super fast. I just haven't been picking it up as much. So I had hoped to make more progress. I had hoped to maybe finish it sometime soon, but I don't think so. And I think I mentioned before also, if I ever do a stitch and chat, and talk at the same time as I stitch, which is I don't think it will happen anytime soon, but if I will, then it's probably gonna be with a pre-stamp kit, because I mean, you don't have to count because everything is there, so you don't have to count how many stitches. That's why it's so relaxing. You can just stitch away without thinking. So that aspect of it is super nice. There are some pre-stamped I have seen that do 14 count and even 16 count. However, I do find that when I look at it, I mean, albeit because it's on online, the smaller or the higher count, but the smaller the smaller squares does make it a little bit more busy and harder to see the symbols that are printed, because especially in the confetti heavy areas it's going to be much harder to see, so you are still going to have to refer back to the paper chart, which sort of it sort of defeats the purpose with having a pre-stamped canvas or fabric. So I don't know, and also it's harder. I mean, there are more, I guess, stock photos and stock images and stuff like that, but I also find that there are lesser of the 14 count pre-stamped, so it's a little bit harder to find something that you like. So I haven't done it, and again, since I am liking it quite a lot, but I'm not loving it, so I haven't invested in like buying a ton of them these. So I have like just a couple more of the pre-stamped kits that I will finish sometimes. But again, I did lose a little bit of a momentum with this one, but I'm hoping to pick it up. Now I'm going to focus on Christmas in July, and then we'll see, and then maybe I will pick this one up after summer. Here comes another project that I definitely will be picking up this month, July, Christmas in July. This is 3 Angels by Yvonne Gilbert, and I stitched this with recycled thread from some other weird kits that I bought a long time ago, and I ordered like a bunch of them very cheap from a specific site, and I'm not going to stitch those kits, so I sort of threw away them. I got rid of the charts, and the fabrics weren't great either, but the threads, I thought, you know, I can use them. So I think this is some type of CXC, but it's not the CXC that I usually work with, because this is a little bit more scratchy. It's not smooth, but it's fine. It is totally fine. And I did start this, I think. I started this on a higher count, but then I went down to, I think this is 16. Because I think I started this in 14 and I didn't like it at all. And I think it is because this thread is thinner. I think it's thinner than DMC even. So the coverage was not good at all. So I switched. And I think I said it wrong, didn't I? I think I started with a lower count. I started on 14 count, but then switched to a higher count, so 16 count. So the coverage is much better. This is like the first page. This, you can see the chin of the little angel here, and her face is coming this way. And I mean, the picture, the artwork is amazing. It's stunning. I think the details are showing up, because I don't know if this is like the super correct color matches, because these weren't exactly DMC matched from the kits that I took them from, but I think they're good enough. It would have been nice to have maybe a little bit more of a smooth, softer blend in the background, but you know, it's good enough, I think. It's good enough. So this I will definitely stitch on. Now, like I said, Christmas in July. I started it in November 2023, so last year, November 12th. I spent about 18 days maybe on this, or less, because I did, as I said, I started it on 14 count, and then I frogged it, and then I restarted it on a 16 count. So on this particular one, maybe 12 days on the 16 count, and then, like I said, a few days to stitch and frog the 14 count. Yeah, otherwise I think I do like the details of this one, and this I think is a better color matching than maybe in the background. But yeah, it's turning out fine enough, and like I said, it would have been just not good to let all that thread go to waste, so it's better. I thought it was better to just use it. Oh, this is also one that I have neglected a little bit. It is European Town, or I've seen it titled European City or Victorian City, under different names. So here we have it. I did finish the lower part, but I would have so much liked to have done the back stitching and moved into the second page, or the second part, because this is one page here, and then this lower half here is on a, anyways, doesn't matter. I would have liked to move in and started like the second section here, but I think I got busy with all the new starts and all of that, because this seemed to be the year of new starts for me, so I'm just going with that for now. But again, this is another project that I really like. The details, the flowers, the colors, everything is super, super, super nice. So let me see, where have I? Yeah, I started this in January 3rd in 2023. This is stitched on a 14 count Ada. This is sort of, again, a kit, I think, with some sort of cotton blended floss. This floss is a little bit more sturdy though than the one in Dancing Party, so this doesn't fray or break as easily. Not too much parking so far, but maybe when we go into part 2 here, maybe I'll start parking a little bit. Or do I do cross country again? Oh, we'll see. We'll decide. I really, really want to have time to stitch on this a lot more this year, so you will see this coming up more. I've spent about 20 days so far on it, and I want to spend a lot more on it. Let me see. Yeah, and I did actually spend a little bit of time of, oh yeah, I need to grid ahead, but I have enough to do the second part of it. Yeah, looking forward to continuing on this one. Here is another project suitable for Christmas in July. It is Holiday at Seaside from Letty Stitch. Again, and I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it is true. I love this project too. And I mean, because the colors, and I mean, I think you can see like the details, the shading, the color shifts, it's gorgeous. I think it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. There are soft areas like here with the shading, and then the really sharp details like with houses and stuff. It is super, super nice. Letty Stitch comes with a pre-gridded fabric. I don't mind it. It is full coverage, so it doesn't really matter. What I mean with it doesn't really matter, it means that it doesn't really matter whether I grade it myself or if it comes pre-graded. I mean, it's nice when it comes pre-graded, of course. It takes a little bit of getting used to if you want to start the first stitch on the line or off the line. That's just a habit thing that you need to figure out for yourself. Paper charts a little bit unruly. It's printed big and there are a lot of pages, because what they do is they have a full set of pages for just the cross stitching, and then they have a full set of pages with the back stitching and the beading, because there are few beads here, like in the Christmas trees and stuff. So there are a lot of pages to keep track of, but just sort them out and then try to decide to go the pages here, or if you're gonna go and work your way down here. Actually, I haven't decided yet, so that will be interesting to figure out once I pick this one up. I started this one October 10th in 2023, and I spent like 2 weeks on it. So it's not too complicated, it's kind of fast. Like I said, cross stitching, some blended colors, I think, back stitching, and there's gonna be not too much back stitching and a little bit of beading. But yeah, you will see this show up in July. So moving on to Spring Flowers from Luca S. I started it in July 19th, 2023. I spent about 16 days on it. This was one of the first Luca S kits that I ever bought, and then I had it in my stash for 2 or 3 years at least. I don't even remember. And then when I did my sort of stash dive, and I found it, I was like, oh, I should pick this one up. So I'm really happy I did. Again, this is a very pretty, a lot of flowers, a lot of nice details. This is a really, really nice kit. And again, lovely colors, like the forget-me-nots, I think that is. And yeah, it is stitched on a 16 count Aida with anchor floss. There's cross stitching and there's back stitching, as you can see the bumblebee there. This is also a nice one because there's like a lot of different color schemes. So if you get tired of working on green, you can move on into blue and to purple, to the pink. Yeah, so there's a lot of different color shifts there. So a lot of variety if you're looking for that. This year has been the year of many new starts, because I was happy when I started to have like 10 projects, right? And then it went from 10 up to 20, and now we're getting close to 30. And I'm gonna say 30 to 35 WIPs for me, I think is fairly, that's a good number. But I'm not gonna commit to not starting any more kits. So I'm gonna start a few more this year. Like I said, at least 2, 3, or 4. No, at least 5 more. And maybe additional ones. And then we'll see what happens next year with my focus pieces and what to do with the full coverage and all that. Okay, moving on. I have a few left, not too many. Oh yeah, okay, this is another one for Christmas in July. It's Christmas Tree of Wishes. This is a delightful project. The only thing I regret is only stitching this before Christmas, pretty much. Maybe a little bit after, before New Year's, but so this bringing Christmas into July is, yes, really, really good. So I am happy about that, because this one is such a delight. I love the image, I love the chart. It is so nice and it's so much fun. So this is probably gonna be the first Christmas themed thing that I pick up this month for a stitch with me. I might not just stitch Christmas stuff in July, but a lot of them are gonna be picked up and get a little bit more stitching time. It is started in 2022, November, late in November, November 26th. And I spent about 26 days on it since 2022. And again, like I said, it's just because I only stitch on it. I prefer to stitch on it before Christmas or during the Christmas holiday. But when I do pick it up, then I do like to spend more than a couple of days on it. I do spend like 3 or 4 days at least at a time. And now in July, which is super nice. Whoever came up with Christmas in July is a genius. If you know who did it, just let me know in the comments, okay? So yeah, you will be seeing more of this. This is just, again, a little bit of blended colors, full crosses. There will be back stitching and there will be beading in the Christmas tree. So, oh yeah, really looking forward to making more progress on this one this year. Then let's just move on to Blue Flowers Girl from Lanarte. I never know how to pronounce it correctly. Again, this is one that I haven't been picking up as much because of the chart, but I think I let you know last time that I have altered the chart a little bit, so I am definitely going to pick this one up a little bit more. Yeah. This also has more of an autumn vibe for me, so I haven't been spending too much time now during summer. I think I'm gonna wait a little bit before I pick this one up again, but with the slight alteration in the chart, it is actually so much more easy, so I'm gonna be able to stitch and make progress much faster, so I don't have to like double check every time on the paper chart. But I mean, it's beautiful. It is so beautiful. There are some single strand stitches. It is stitched on a 30 count linen. Some of it is 2/2 and some of it is 1/2, just to give it a little bit more nuanced in the flowers. I think you can see, like this is 1/2. Yeah. Did I start this one? I have it here somewhere. In 2022, October 5th, 2022, I started this one. And as I said, I did, I mean, I enjoyed everything about it. It was a little bit just with this chart is not 10 by 10. It is divided 5 by 5, which not great in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. And also with the grid lines and stuff like that. But like I said in the last video where I went through all that, now that I have filled in the grid lines the way I want them, so much more easy. And finally, the small, relaxing Caroline Manning designs called Barn Dance or Barn Dance. This is super fun, super relaxing. You don't really have to count too much, but I did grid anyways because I'm me. So I need the grid lines. I started this August 20th in 2023, and I haven't spent that many days on it, like 6 or 8 days, because this one is I pick it up whenever I need to really not think and just relax. It is really nice. And again, I have no plans on when to finish. It's not a priority. I just enjoy it. It's nice with the colors and with like all straight lines and geometric symbols and stuff, shapes. So yeah, it's a fun project, and I've seen a lot of people doing some of the other ones, and I think I have another chart of hats with some other colors, like more pinkish, and one that is more Christmas inspired, I think. But this one for now is super nice, picking it up whenever I feel the need to just stitch, relax, and just have fun with it. So, Bond Dance from Caroline Manning Designs. And that is actually it. I think I have gone through them all. I have 28 WIPs for now. And like I said, I'm gonna start at least 5 more. Focus piece is Wreath of All Seasons from Dimensions Collection, and alternating with Heaven and Earth Design, Amy Stewart, Sister Moon, just to get all that dark background completed and feel like I make progress on at least one of my full coverage Heaven and Earth Design things. Starting another supersized, maybe not too wise, but I will do it anyways. And I have, maybe you've noticed, maybe you haven't, and that's fine, but I have started posting or uploading twice a week on fixed days instead of just doing every 6th day or every 5th day. And at first I wasn't sure, but it actually works out pretty nice because it's easier to plan instead of just having the dates and the days of the week being different every time and stuff like that. It's harder to keep track of. So yeah, I decided to just do it twice a week. Sometimes it's just going to be a short though on one of those days, but it's going to be Tuesdays and Fridays. I'm going to continue doing that until, or if I feel that it's too often, or if it's, not working. But for now it has been, actually. So I'm really happy that I gave it a try. And yeah, and coming up next, as I keep saying, Christmas in July, really looking forward to it. So that's it for now, I think. And yeah, happy stitching, and thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.